won't be much left, because Bitcoin itself breaks down the nation state. It allows for capital flight and becomes a means to evade taxes. So historically, you have to go with Bitcoin, because that's why the super rich cannot withstand the democratic burden of the nation state, and the nation state will continue to decline. It's like just keeping on changing the captain, but it will still keep declining. But in the end, the super rich, to protect their wealth, they'll need something abstract, portable, and universal assets. That's why Bitcoin will likely be chosen. So, paradoxically, the more Bitcoin is antagonized, the more it will become a very important asset. That's why I imagine a surge happening because of Bitcoin. This is what I envision. For now, Bitcoin isn't recognized to that extent, and it's just seen as a few weird heretics like EMI talking nonsense. When I think about it, accidents do happen from time to time, like hacking and crashes, so you might wonder if it could really reach that level. But even looking at the past 16 years, it has grown at an incredibly fast pace. You need to think about this more. If you are likely Korean, if you have money, Bitcoin now, in a state where you don't own a home, rather than Bitcoin, my own home, you'll probably think that preparing is the priority. But I have a question about that. I think there are times when we need to think about this. 10 years ago, when Tae-min was talking about Bitcoin, investing in something like Bitcoin, which is so obscure, will be even harder than that, because people instinctively go toward real estate. If they don't own a home, they use their spare cash for Bitcoin. But using the money I would have used to buy a house to buy Bitcoin, not buying a house with that money, living in a Joe and Say or a monthly rental, living in public housing, and keeping the rest in Bitcoin. That's why you'll miss out again. But as for real estate, the state will confiscate it all. There are a few options that a state unable to bear the burden of democracy can choose from: inflation, asset confiscation, and things like that. So to prevent such a future and find a solution so that the whole world can once again